It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Jerry Caldwell. It is Thanksgiving week, more specifically Tuesday, November 26, 2024, a late Thanksgiving for all of us this year. We will be slightly abbreviated on programs this week, although not bad. We will be in best of mode here inside the Treehouse on Thursday and Friday. Now, for those that have followed the show for many, many years, you know best of is not to be missed. And this is a great opportunity, if you're newer to the show, to catch up and hear some things that you may not have had the chance to previously. The other good thing about best of shows, even if you listen to every single program, this is all the good stuff. So every segment is quality, as opposed to, you know, good segment, okay segment, great segment, mediocre segment, okay segment, great segment. So no, there are no peaks and valleys on Thursday and Friday this week for Thanksgiving. It's all
it is a plateau of fun.
I think plateau is kind of flat. Although I get what you mean. A plateau is high. Right. It's the Kilimanjaro of fun. How about that?
There you go.
While a plateau, Kilimanjaro, people know is, hey, that's up there. That's high. But we're not going to say it's Everest. That's ridiculous. You don't want to set the bar too high because you may never eclipse it or you may die along the way. So a little more reasonable. The Kilimanjaro of fun will be had on Thursday and Friday here inside the Treehouse. Best of, and it's all good stuff. And there's water for you at the top. Also like Kilimanjaro. So that's what's happening inside the Treehouse this week for the holiday week. Thursday, Friday, best of, but still high quality shows for you. All right. But for today, we must start with a specific warning if you are about to embark on your holiday shopping. This is a public service message from us inside the Treehouse. Don't buy piss for Christmas. I don't care how good it looks. I don't care how sweet it smells. I don't care how affordable the price tag. Do not buy piss for Christmas. Okay?
Okay. Solid advice.
Thank you. An appalling health warning. This is based in actual news, by the way. It's not just sage advice. An appalling health warning has been issued over what could actually be in fake perfumes. Okay? People can sometimes feel tempted by the cheap price, but lab experiments reveal these scents could also contain human urine. That's right. Eau de pee-pee. Many feel that high-class perfumes offer an air of luxury along with a premium price tag to match. That sees some turn to budget alternatives. I've been there. I've done that. I remember back in the 80s, you
watered down your Jaguar Noir with piss?
No, you didn't let me finish, and now people are going to think that that's the case, and it's not. I had one bottle of Jaguar Noir all throughout middle school, and it was an OG bottle. It was not, as far as I know, watered down with anything other than that dark black scenty goodness. Although that was the cologne that I wore, where my dad gave me some of the best advice he ever gave me, which is, that's too thick. Don't put on too much.
I believe all males have to get that advice somewhere around middle school.
Yeah, it's around there.
Yeah.
He said, less is more. I don't remember the exact words he said. I'm trying to remember it, but he basically said, yeah, it's just too effing much. Stop it. And I live by that today. No, Trey, I didn't water down my own colognes with pee-pee. But I had family members that would buy the knockoff perfumes. I think my grandmother did. I think I had, it was the perfumes. The cologne was not a big thing in my family. It was more like, because it said my dad, when he wore it, it was very subtle. But no, I remember, especially in the 80s, having female family members doing the knockoff perfumes. So it is something that I am somewhat familiar with, although as far as I know, none of them were, watered down with human urine the way is being warned of us now. But people often overlook the quality of what they're actually getting in fake perfumes, and buying the knockoffs, the discounted items, might just leave you disappointed in what you receive, and it could even damage your health. A fragrance expert warned laboratory tests of samples seized by the police intellectual property crime unit have shown that fake perfume can contain human urine. Yes, you heard right. Urine. Aside from the obvious downsides to this, urine also holds a number of bacteria and other potentially harmful microorganisms. Counterfeit perfumes lack the preservatives and chemicals that stop bacteria from growing in higher-end perfume bottles. When thrown together with unsanitary manufacturing conditions and low-quality ingredients, it can all contribute to the amount of bacteria in your perfume, making you sick and even causing serious conditions and diseases. So be careful what you buy.
That assembly line's got to look really funny.
It's like just one of those like stadium troughs. but instead of the trough being filled with ice, it's full of perfume and cologne bottles.
So this is how we get taken down. This is the new global population control method now.
Maybe
perfume.
I mean, it's bad enough to where you don't make enough money to buy overpriced, perfume and cologne. As if that's not bad enough that you can't afford the good stuff. The knockoff stuff is now being watered down with pee-pee.
Well, hopefully they're at least telling the whoever's donating the urine to not eat asparagus before.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cologne and a lot of perfume commercials, and I really don't think Johnny Depp in the desert is going to make Ode to Asparagus smell good. Although, given what Johnny Depp typically looks like, that's kind of, I imagine, how he smells.
Oh, and he and Amber Heard seem to have some interesting practices.
Yeah. It's pretty bad to think about. The worst thing in Johnny Depp's bed wasn't piss.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Let's get Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the Treehouse. 833-COOK-DFW for your free roof inspection. The website, cookdfw.com. You guys do lots of great work on roofs, and the restoration part of the side of the business also means, you're doing remodeling work underneath the roof inside the home as well. And you were telling me just recently that you, Daniel, and Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration offer lifetime warranties on all your work.
Yeah, Dan, that's something that we talked about for a while now, and we decided to go ahead and just pull the trigger on it. We've had excellent reviews. We've had excellent referrals. People really love our work when they give us a chance, and we just want to put our money where our mouth is. And, that's the best way I can always say that is just back it up. Back it up. When I was growing up and I told somebody I was going to kick their ass, you got to back it up. Well, now that I'm a grown man and we're doing professional services on people's homes, and I tell them that they're never going to have a better experience, I'm backing it up. We're going to take care of your home because we want you to have that peace of mind knowing that after we left, you have the very best product left behind. Your home is safe. Your family's taken care of, and that you don't have to worry about us not coming back.
You can experience it for yourself, and you can put your money where Daniel's mouth is. And he'll honor it, as you just heard. Even if he dies, he's still going to honor this stuff. I mean, that's some serious integrity and quality craftsmanship to have the confidence to be like, yeah, this is how we do things. So you give the man a call for that free roof inspection, 833-COOK-DFW, the website, cookdfw.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
That previous segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Fair Lease to save time and money on your next new vehicle, car, truck, SUV, whatever the case. Go to fairlease.org. That is fairlease.org, and lease the no hassle way from Fair Lease. All right, Dan, that's me, along with Trey and Jerry, back inside the treehouse now. Are you guys ready for some Yule log? I sure hope so, because regulars of the Mill Arms pub in southern England may catch an eyeful if they step into the wrong room during British Naturism's Christmas lunch for a mere £45 for non-members. What does that mean? That means nudists are invited to a naked Christmas dinner at a pub in England to get their baubles out. They'll be able to be completely naked at the pub while tucking into turkey.
Are they cooking naked too?
It's a great question because that's hazardous,
Carving
especially if you're deep frying, turkey.
Oh,
Because I mean, those videos are already terrifying around this time of year because the fire departments like to show us all the deep fried turkey mishaps. But now imagine all those videos and the person dropping the turkey in the bucket is naked. Yeah. So I'm not sure about the cookery, Trey. The Mill Arms in Dundridge near Southampton, England. I looked it up on a map, by the way. It's the southern coast of England. The Mill Arms will be the venue for the Christmas lunch, but conservative regulars will be in for a shock if they accidentally step into the wrong room. British Naturism is hosting the event, and the pub is happy to welcome them with, yes, open arms. The nudists will have access to the function room with its own bar and toilets, which actually is really, really considerate of them, because I have not been into a public restroom where someone else in the bathroom was naked since either kindergarten or when I was in my early 20s in Uptown Dallas. There was that one time where there was in kindergarten, one of the other boys, this is one of my random memories, came out of the bathroom stall, and his pants were all down around his ankles, and he had poo-poo smeared all over his own butt. I have an odd memory. I can't remember something I may have done 10 or 15 minutes ago, but I remember the other Danny's butt covered in poop in kindergarten all the way back from circa 1984.
I mean, you make your preschool or kindergarten sound like Lord of the Flies or something.
He just didn't know how to wipe very good. I mean, and you can't blame him. We were all like 4 or 5 years old. We were all still learning. Keeping in mind, though, that when he came out of that bathroom stall, we were all horrified. And I remember at the time I had a very weak stomach at the time. And I felt, looking back on it now, I feel really, really bad for that teacher, because she had to come into the boys' room. Back then we had boys' rooms. She had to come into the boys' room and see this naked from the waist down 4 or 5-year-old boy who's got poop smeared all over his own butt. That's the other Danny. There was 2 of us in this class, and we were both giving her a show that day. That's what she walks into and sees first. Then the next thing she sees over by the urinals is Danny Prime. That's me. I was going by Danny at the time. So Danny Prime is now throwing up in front of the urinals because of the poop that smeared on other Danny's backside. I don't know how much she got paid. It was not enough.
It's not a terribly uncommon thing in kindergarten. I don't think I have a similar story. It wasn't all over him, but his pants. I went to a very small private school, and so the bathroom opened up directly into one of the areas that they used as a classroom. And the kid came out, and his pants were completely off.
Yep.
And I'm not really sure what the situation was, but he wasn't completely done yet. So there's just he's just kind of carpet bombing as he walks. Yeah.
And then you said the other time was at KVIL?
Yes. Tell us about North Dallas.
I did not say it was at KVIL.
Oh.
Although maybe that was why they moved Ron Chapman over to the oldie station. Sorry, Don, your time's up. It's time to send you out to pasture. You're pooping all over the studio. No, it's Uptown, Trey. You and I used to drink in Uptown, and it would not have Look, if you were to walk the bar that you've worked in Dallas for years, if you were to walk into a bar in uptown Dallas and there's a guy with his pants around his ankles going to the bathroom, would it really shock you that much?
Nude or pants around his ankles?
I'm going to go pants around his ankles. Nude
Well,
would be
no.
that'd be a different establishment.
Yeah.
a different neighborhood.
He was in the restroom, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't me. Again, not me. Anyway, the point is, if you want to do naked Thanksgiving dinner, all you got to do is go to England, pay £45 for non-members, and you can, have an entire section of a pub in South England, with you and your nudist friends enjoying everything that Thanksgiving has to offer.
And there's a bartender and a couple servers that got to work that, and that's a beating.
Well, I hope there's no beating. I think you could charge more for that.
Right.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Oh, you're basting the turkey. Oh, thank God. Oh. Let's get Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing into the Treehouse now. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, give her and all of them there a call, 214-368-3838, the website, brooksplumbingtexas.com. When I had my house in Dallas, Jacqueline, you came out a few times to help us with some issues, and your response time was phenomenal. And it wasn't just because it was me. It was because that's the kind of company you run. You go out of your way trying to help every client and try to get there as soon as you can.
Well, I mean, the reality of it is that plumbing is unfortunately a need and not so much a want. Yes, you can want to remodel the bathroom and that's not pressing, but typically when it comes to service or leak investigations, et cetera, if you've got a stoppage on the main line and you don't know and you keep putting liquid or, waste into the drains, if it has nowhere to go, it will come back in the house. And at that point in time, it's no longer a want, it's a need. And that sort of thing can't wait. When you have those emergencies, you have got to figure out how to manage the crew so that you can have the best response time.
That's right. And they'll show up and they'll do it quickly. Call Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing for any and all of those plumbing wants and needs. 214-368-3838. And again, that website, brooksplumbingtexas.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
That previous segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. To get your free roof inspection and to get yourself on the Cook list, very, very cool, just call Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration at 833-COOK-DFW. That is 833-COOK-DFW, or the website cookdfw.com. That is, once again, the website cookdfw.com. All right, back inside the Treehouse now. I'm Dan O'Malley along with Trey Trenholm, and today, special Tuesday guest, Jerry Caldwell. I say guest, but you're always in here, and we love it. Thank you. Jaguar has a new ad campaign, and it has everything except cars. and people are pretty judgy. And where are people the most judgmental? The internet. And that's where everyone's opinions are being flung at Jaguar for their new branding campaign.
Yeah, they threw out the iconic logo, iconic, font, iconic everything.
They threw out all the icons and replaced it with pretty colors and androgyny.
Are we just not smart enough to recognize the genius of a carless car commercial?
There is an argument there to be had, and we're going to get into that. But it is certainly eye-catching, according to NBC News. A group of multiracial, gender-bending models emerged from an elevator in cutting-edge makeup and brightly colored clothing to a techno-industrial beat into an austere, prismatic landscape. But one thing is missing from the storied British car maker Jaguar's new rebrand. Cars! The spot has, of course, drawn reactions online that range from puzzled to dismayed, with several commentators comparing the potential fallout to Bud Light's use of a trans influencer in straying far afield from its core demographic. One communications professional on X/Twitter called the ad disastrous, mainly because it's overly focused on branding and not the product itself. Jaguar says, just trust us. We know what we're doing. I did see a little bit of it. The last week I saw on my news feed on social media the new Jaguar logo, and I wondered, okay, it's okay to reinvent oneself. I'm all for it. You do you, kind of a thing. But the logo that I saw that said Jaguar also looks a lot like the Pandora font on my Alexa. So like when I'm looking at the Pandora font on Alexa, it looks exactly the same as Jaguar. So if Jaguar is looking to stand out, I don't know, maybe create your own damn font for starters.
Well, they changed that. I mean, they took away the actual Jaguar that has been, synonymous with the car.
Mm-hmm.
They've stripped down. I mean, it is, someone referenced it as the new Coke of the auto industry. And
oof, damn.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Damn. The company said in response to a request for comment from CNBC, our Jaguar brand relaunch is a bold and imaginative reinvention, and as expected, it has attracted attention and debate. So there you go. They rebranded, didn't have any commercials with any cars, and here we are talking about Jaguar, whereas we previously hadn't. So on one hand, good on them. On the other, I don't know if their cars look the same or they're going to be different looking. I don't know if Jaguar is still going to use the actual Jaguar feline cat predator thing. I always thought a good rebrand for Jaguar would have been something much simpler, easier to understand, like Jaguar. Rare.
I'm sorry, that's awesome. Jaguar. Rare. That's
Yeah.
yes.
No. Jaguar. Rare. Your roar was a little too long.
I see.
It needs to be shorter and sweeter.
Short and sweet.
Or you could always go the route of the 80s movie Crazy People.
I'm really glad you brought that up, Trey. Because it takes a special mind to pull up an ad campaign from an 80s movie starring Dudley Moore and Paul Reiser in what I think, and I'm sure Trey agrees, and Jerry, I believe you agree as well. This is the Treehouse ad agency's recommendation on Jaguar's next campaign.
Jaguar, sleek and smart. For men who'd like hand jobs from beautiful women they hardly know.
That's what all of these ads really mean.
I mean, sure, Paul Reiser's character is acting, shocked and surprised and appalled. And Dudley Moore's character is like, nah, it's pretty much on point. They're just saying the quiet part out loud.
God, Dudley Moore was so genius.
I love Dudley Moore.
He was a real treasure, and may he rest in peace. But really, this. I mean, hand jobs for men from beautiful women they hardly know, plus rare. I think that's going to move some metal.
Yeah,
that would look fantastic on a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, it would. Probably even be good on some NFTs. As it is, here is the full ad campaign that the Treehouse recommends for Jaguar from Crazy People from the 1980s.
Jaguar, sleek and smart. For men who'd like hand jobs from beautiful women they hardly know.
That's what all of these ads really mean. Men buy these cars because of it. So why don't we just come out and say, hey, we know what you want. Here it is. This is for that.
The this is the steering wheel hand gesture. The that is the long stroke gesture from Dudley Moore. People would also talk a lot about that.
I think the other genius, part of that was Volvo. Sure, they're boxy, but they're safe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the point. Volvo, if you want a hand job, go buy a Jaguar.
Yeah.
But if you want to live to get home to not get it, then Volvo, yeah. Jerry, you brought it up earlier, and even the statement from Jaguar said it, where it's like, okay, well, it's going to spark a lot of debate and a lot of interest and a lot of attention, and by God, it's working. So just trust us as we eventually finish the rollout of the new Jaguar.
I mean, and for a car company that sales were already down, you thought this was the way to go. It's like, Land Rover, Jaguar. I mean, you're talking about multi-billion-dollar corporation. And I mean, I'm sure Bud Light's going, did our suffering not show you anything of how not to do this?
Yeah.
Target.
There are some things you got to learn from others' mistakes. And then other people just got to make the mistakes themselves.
Really, I think they ought to start with making some better looking cars.
Well, unless their new product line, unless all the new vehicles are going to look like a bunch of multicultural androgynous models, then
they're evidently rolling out, I think they're an EV line on like December 3rd.
Okay.
Who knows what that's going to look like. It might look like something from the Bugaloos.
You know what? If there's a Jaguar Bugaloo EV on the horizon, I'll keep an eye out for it. I'm interested. But the thing is, a lot of these ads just look like they're targeting Gen Alpha or Gen Z. And those two generations don't have any money to afford a Jaguar.
This is correct.
So I think really you should just go back to the Handjob campaign, because those are the people that got the money to afford a Jaguar.
I feel like we should do this segment sponsored by Age.
It is. It is.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Previous segment of the Treehouse brought to you by Brooks Plumbing. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, call Jacqueline at 214-368-3838. That's 214-368-3838 for any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, especially this week, because Friday's Brown Friday, busiest day of the year for plumbers. So if you back them all up, be sure to call Jacqueline at Brooks Plumbing, 214-368-3838, and the website, brooksplumbingtexas.com. That is brooksplumbingtexas.com. It is time to not only have fun inside the Treehouse, but it's also time to say goodbye to a legend. Game show host Chuck Woolery died on Saturday at his home in Texas. Hey, right here in Texas. Did you guys know he was 83? In TV game show host fashion. Didn't look it.
No.
83 years old. Didn't look a day over 63, I would say.
I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. There is no word on a cause of death, but TMZ says Chuck Woolery went to lie down before he passed away because he wasn't feeling well. He was the original host of Wheel of Fortune back in the late 70s. A lot of people forget that Pat Sajak was not the original host of Wheel of Fortune. It was, in fact, Hall of Famer, if there is a Hall of Fame for a game show host, Chuck Woolery.
There should be.
Yeah. So Chuck Woolery was the original host of Wheel of Fortune back in the late 70s. He then went on to host the Scrabble game show in the 80s. That's when I knew who he was, because I remember going over to my grandparents' house And I remember in the afternoons, my grandma would be watching Scrabble. And I enjoyed that show, and I enjoyed watching Chuck Woolery on Scrabble. Then Love Connection. That was nighttime Chuck Woolery. So you had daytime Chuck Woolery with Scrabble. Then you got late night Chuck from 1983 to 1994. 11 years of Love Connection.
Wow.
Starring Chuck Woolery. Yeah.
That's where I was introduced to him.
Mm-hmm.
And his
Most of
famous
us were.
phrase.
Yeah, the old 2 and 2. But yeah, Chuck Woolery passing away in Texas at the age of 83. He also did later shows like Lingo on the Game Show Network. I remember actually seeing that a few times. And of course, the show Greed on Fox. You may also recall, if you're really old, Chuck signing off, as you mentioned, Jerry. He started off as a musician. He was actually in a folk group called the Bordermen and a psychedelic pop duo called the Avant Garde, which had the hit Naturally Stoned. I didn't know that. And that was pretty interesting considering his very conservative political leanings of recent memory. I guess maybe he would have been considered a liberal in those days, having a psychedelic pop duo called Avant Garde. He also did some country stuff, including the songs Painted Lady and The Greatest Love Affair. And he co-wrote The Joy of Being a Woman on Tammy Wynette's 1971 album, We Sure Can Love Each Other. So Chuck Woolery passing away at the age of 83 on Saturday in Texas. That's a hell of a career, hell of a life lived. Starting out as a musician and, ending up as a legendary game show host, matchmaker of romances.
I don't remember. Did he get kicked off of Wheel of Fortune, or did he leave Wheel of Fortune? Because if he left Wheel of Fortune, that had to have really chapped his ass.
You know what? I don't know. That's a great question.
See what I can find.
I am almost certain that Pat Sajak took over after Chuck Woolery. I don't think there was an interim person. But I mean, and the game show host game, I don't know how quickly or how those things transpired, because game show hosts, it wasn't typically a common thing. The only really game shows that I can think of that sort of had a bunch of different hosts was Family Feud.
In 1981, he was involved in a salary dispute with the program's producers, the producers of Wheel of Fortune, and that he demanded a raise from $65K a year to about $500K a year.
Wow. That is a
The
big
program
jump.
was during a 44 viewership share at the time, so he felt that it was warranted.
He ain't wrong. I mean, look, is that a huge salary jump? Yes, it is. But when you've got 44% of available households watching that show, that's not a ridiculous ask.
Yeah, but boy, that was short-sighted on his end.
It was. I mean, it worked out. He ended up on Scrabble. Then he still got Love Connection, on which I'm sure he made a good amount of money. But look, let's be honest. Chuck Woolery is not the first host of a show to demand high amounts of money with high ratings. Especially by today's comparisons, when there are shows out there that make too much money and have no ratings. So, I mean, it's kind of a balancing scale.
They do middays or afternoons, I guess.
Might straddle. Just depends. I don't know.
Depends on the format.
Yeah, that day. Anyway, unlike Chuck Woolery, we will be back in 2 and 2.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
When you visit treehouseonair.com, you can actually talk back to us right here inside the Treehouse. At treehouseonair.com, lower right-hand corner, that little microphone, you can click on that and leave us a voicemail or a tree mail if you want to call it that or whatever. Treehouseonair.com, you can talk back to the Treehouse, little microphone, lower right-hand corner. Maybe you want to tell us about your Thanksgiving, if something really fun or funny or bad happened. We'll listen to that. Or also something you hear in the show that you want to comment on. Treehouseonair.com, talkback function right there, lower right-hand corner. Meanwhile, back inside the Treehouse, we are preparing for Thanksgiving, and today is Tuesday, November 26, 2024. So let's celebrate that with some birthdays. Celebrating his 36th birthday, Hafthor Bjornsson. Congratulations to him. He plays the Mountain on Game of Thrones. And with a name like that, yeah, it's safe to assume, and you'd be correct, that he was discovered during one of the World's Strongest Men competitions. Really big, really strong, perfect Game of Thrones character. The Mountain turns 36 today. Singer Natasha Bedingfield is 43. Mickey Tuttle from American Chopper is 46. DJ Khaled is 49. Record producer and performer, doing well for himself. Then you've also got Peter Fasinelli, turns 51. He was Carlisle Cullen in the Twilight movies, Dr. Cooper on Nurse Jackie, and Commissioner Plank on SWAT. Also celebrating a birthday today, Garcelle Bouvet. Garcelle Bouvet is 58 today. Most recently, she was the Vulture's wife in Spider-Man Homecoming. So that was Michael Keaton's wife in Spider-Man Homecoming. She's 58 today. She don't look 48. I'm not even sure if you could say she looks 38. Good on her and her skincare routine.
Mm-hmm.
Also from Fleetwood Mac, John is it McVie or McVie? I never remember on this.
McVie.
John McVie turns 79 today. Fleetwood Mac, obviously huge hits in The Chain, Don't Stop, Landslide. In addition to phenomenal songs, we also learned from Fleetwood Mac not to dip your guitar in the lead singer, or your drumstick, or whatever.
That's a lesson that don't bang each other, because they all
stop it. Like if you're at work, don't dip your pen in the company ink. If you're in a band, don't drumstick the bass player. Just don't do it. And as far as I know, throughout the history of this program, both in its radio and digital form, not once, at least as far as I know, have any members of the Treehouse each other. Literally. Figuratively, we've been all the time. That's happened a lot. Although a lot of that seems to have died. But as far as I know, there's been no actual of Treehouse cast show members. So good on us. Despite these close quarters, we've resisted the temptation to scissor one another. So I'm really proud of us. Good job, everyone. Good effort. Would I hold back? That hasn't kept all of us out of trouble, but at least with one another, our slate is pretty clean. I don't think there was any. Yeah, let's go on.
It was very difficult sometimes too, sitting in that studio behind you. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, this has got really too real. All right, if we're ever laying out a studio again, it's going to be a round table. It's going to be like Camelot, and we're all going to be facing each other. There's going to be no turned around. You get no ass shots, Jerry. There's going to be lots of eye contact.
I mean, yeah, when you were staring at Dan, was he doing a Donald Duck and just no pants, or what?
No. It's just,
but don't act
you're
shocked.
there. There's the producer window, and not 4 feet away from it is Dan standing there at the helm and all of his magnificence. And
see, Trey, what he's getting at is that I was a tease. And I still am.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Back inside the Treehouse now, Dan O'Malley, Trey Trenholm, and Jerry Caldwell. We've had a fantastic and jam-packed fun show today. There's one last little thing that I need to throw at you, gentlemen. So be prepared to duck. Okay, so here we go. You know Marvin Gaye. You're aware of Barry White. But are you aware of, and do you know this romance artist? I do not know his name. I'm genuine. Do you know this man?
I can't imagine that you are oh so very sweet. I wouldn't even give you a chance to take off your pants. I'd eat the seat.
If given the chance, I'd and smell your pants and I'd eat the seat. We posted this on our very special Instagram account and I believe on Facebook as well, at Treehouse On Air. And Raj actually posted it. I'm not even sure who this is. I'm not sure if anybody is. I'm not even sure where he found it. He's not here today to give me an answer. So no pun intended, I'm in the dark. And I don't say that just because this is a black man. And I don't say it because he's wearing sunglasses inside, therefore leading to the possibility that he's blind or he just thinks he's cool. I don't know which. The point is, I don't know who this is. I don't know this song. I tried Shazamming it and I got nothing. So if you know, I'd love for you to tell me. In the meantime, we can just enjoy the lyrics and the song for, what it is.
I can't imagine that you are oh so very sweet. I wouldn't even give you a chance to take off your pants. I'd eat the seat. You know what, gorgeous? You are so cute and appealing. Every time I look into your eyes, I get a strong sexual feeling.
Does anyone else get the idea or the impression that I think he's just improvising here? Like this is just like a talk break during, what's supposed to be an instrumental part of the song. Not instrumental, but instrumental. It's excellent feedback.
Possibly.
Too. I appreciate it. You guys are so entrenched in Googling this that you're trying to find out who it is. It's a mystery, right?
Yeah,
right.
You want to know who the genius is who penned these lyrics.
Pinned. Yeah, I mean, when you've got lyrics about let's just start it over. Let's enjoy the lyrics for what they are.
I can't imagine that you are oh so very sweet. I wouldn't even give you a chance to take off your pants. I'd eat the seat.
Trey, you've worked in bars for many years. Have you ever heard a guy use a pickup line like, if given the chance, I'd eat your seat?
No, I've never heard that. I've heard some bad ones. I've heard some, things that I cannot repeat even on this, but I'll have to tell y'all that one time off air, the most famous one. But no, never heard I'd eat the seat.
Well, there's more to it.
You know what, gorgeous? You are so cute and appealing. Every time I look into your eyes, I get a strong sexual feeling.
And then?
You're such a honey dripper, I would forget all about your zipper. I just want to hurt on your girdle and do slam dunks in your swimming trunks.
You're a honey dripper, and I want to do slam dunks in your swimming trunks.
Genius.
Is it? When Raj posted, he said this is real, and he's not wrong. It is real. It's an actual thing. But is it real, or just real?
Real as in it was published by a label?
Not necessarily by a label, but this is a video that's online, and it exists, so it is real. But is it real, or is it parody of some kind? Is it meant to be a spoof, a joke type thing? Or is this guy serious that he would eat seats and he wants to do, slam dunks in your swimming trunks?
It has that, 80s cable access feel to it.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
And look, in the 80s, you had to find love where you could. There wasn't online dating like there is today. And if you found love on cable access with a guy pretending to be blind and wishing he was Barry White and Marvin Gaye's illegitimate love child, then by God, whatever makes you happy.
Trying to think of a love connection joke, and I just can't.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I can help you. I think what happened is we posted this video, right? I think we posted this video on Friday. We posted this video on Friday. Chuck Woolery probably saw it Saturday morning and then promptly went to bed and died. The timing works.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
He's thinking if we could have just had this guy on, it could have gotten another season.
I think it's different. I think it's Chuck Woolery saw this on our Instagram account and said, I've had it with this earth, and he went to bed and never woke up again.
Right. Went to bed permanently.
Yes, he's like, I'm good. I'm gonna check out. I've seen it all. I've done it all. I'm good. My heart is full. On the flip side, though, it would really suck that if this happened to be the last thing he saw, and he just happened to die right after it.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, this is the earworm he had that got stuck in his head.
For an eternity. Yeah. Oh. Not Angel's Way of Hurt on High, not Joy to the World, not even the actual sexual healing by, Marvin Gaye, but this guy.
I'm going to eat your seat. As he goes gently into the great beyond.
Imagine Chuck Woolery walking up to the pearly gates with St. Peter. You are such a honey dripper. All right, let's stop while we're somewhat ahead. Thank you for hanging out with us inside the Treehouse. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. Social media, see, you can learn a lot. Hopefully, it's not the last thing you hear before you die. At Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. And for Jerry, it is at that Jerry Guy. We'll see you tomorrow right here inside the Treehouse.